You have to start all over again.
Because of the shadows?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Move my car over and you can move yours over.
Okay, yeah.
Rather than...
I saw the shadows over there.
Yeah, it's after rather than one is so dark to begin with. You know why?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
You said you have to do the whole thing over again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just 3 shots. So, I should have faked a Redlands filming permit so when they stopped us, I could whip it out and show it to them. Well, the only problem is if the neighbors get worked up about it and drive us away, we're going to have to start all over. Oh yeah, that's a better look by far. Welcome to the Boomer Technician channel. Today, we're in Redlands, California, and we're not at a car show, but we have 2 classic vehicles here to look at. We've got a 74 Mustang II, the sole survivor that I'm driving to 50 car shows in 50 states, and we've got a 73 Ford Pinto. Now, for those of you who regularly view my channel, you know I'm driving my car to 50 car shows in 50 states. And when I'm at those car shows, I keep hearing the same thing. Oh, a Mustang II, that's just a glorified Pinto. Well, there is some commonality between the 2 cars, but the Mustang II is a lot more than just a glorified Pinto. And today, we're going to look at the cars detail by detail, and I hope I can convince you the Mustang II is a very unique car with features that just aren't present on the Ford Pinto.
It's okay, dude.
And I hope I can convince you that the Mustang II is a very unique car that isn't simply a glorified Pinto.
That's going to be an edit? Or are you going to let it go?
Oh, yeah, I'll fix it.
Oh, okay.
You have to reset every time. How's it going today? Yeah, doing all right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me make sure that I was framed up nicely.
Now, remember, in my video, you might not be edited. Behind the scenes.
I think I'm in good shape because there's so much room to work with here. Oh, yeah. All right. for the. Oh, he's got. All right. Now, this isn't a review of either car, and it's not an attempt to criticize either car. Both cars were built to a purpose, and they were both pretty successful vehicles for Ford. The Pinto was built for the Econima. I'll step back and start over again. Now, this isn't a criticism of either car, just an observation of the features of both of them. Both the Pinto and the Mustang II were successful vehicles for Ford, and they were both built for specific audiences that differed greatly. The Pinto was built for the economy-minded buyer who was looking for the most car for the least money. The Mustang II was built for a buyer looking for more features, more comfort, and maybe a bit more style. But those two markets both liked the cars that were offered, and they both bought them. So these vehicles were successful in their own right and don't require any criticism.
The shadow's moving fast. It's
Well, that's all right.
yeah.
The Mustang get more in the shadow. And if it's coming out of the shadow, it is what it is. So. Now, before I start talking about the differences between these cars, let's talk about common parts versus Pinto parts versus Mustang II parts. Common parts are a part that fits many different cars, and on these two cars, a great example of that are the headlights. Both cars have a single headlight on each side with dual filaments, and both those headlights have been used on cars since the late 40s. So that's a common part. There's nothing specifically Pinto or specifically Mustang II about it. A Pinto part is a part designed and engineered to fit the Pinto and only the Pinto. A Mustang II part is a part designed and engineered to fit the Mustang II and only the Mustang II. And a great example of this is the windshields. The windshield on the Pinto is taller and narrower than the Mustang II windshield. That windshield is an inch shorter and 2 inches wider than the Pinto. So clearly, the two windshields will not interchange. You can't take a Mustang II windshield. You can't take a Mustang II windshield and put it on a Pinto, and vice versa.
I'm glad people are respecting the fact that you have the camera up. The guy was really contemplating cutting in front of us.
That's all fine.
Yeah.
Should be interesting in the back of the video. So with those differences in mind, hello kitty.
That's right on.
So with those differences in mind, let's grab the camera, walk up to the Pinto, and do a little filming showing the front end of the Pinto. So up front, the Pinto has a chrome bumper, and it's got a grille that's kind of floating between the bumper and the hood. There's not a fascia at the front of the car that the grille mounts into. The hood of the Pinto curves down and forms the top of the grille opening, and it's got a simple character line running from the front of the hood to the back. As we look at the hood and the fenders and the cowl, all these surfaces are relatively flat. There's not a lot of detailing, and there's not a lot of character lines. And all of these components are Pinto parts. So let's step over to the Mustang II and see if those Pinto parts will fit on the Mustang II. Well, first thing you notice with the Mustang II is the front bumper is not a chrome bumper, it's a composite bumper painted body color. It does have a bright chrome strip in it, but it is completely different from the Pinto. The grille of a Mustang II is mounted into a fascia. The front of the car has a body component that runs from headlight to headlight, that mounts the grill, and it has the front of the car has a fascia that runs from headlight to headlight and mounts the grill in it. The hood does not curve down to meet the grill. Instead, there's a cut line on the back where it flows into the fascia. And looking at the hood, the fenders, and the cowl, we can see that there are character lines running up each side of the hood that are much more styled and much more complex than the Pinto. So none of these components are going to fit the Pinto, and none of the Pinto components are going to fit the Mustang II. I need to make another measurement. I forgot I didn't do that when I was talking the other day.
Supposed to be hood length or things like that?
No, we're measuring the width of the wipers from post to post. And it's not super critical. So that's I thought, but you would think they're exactly the same. Yeah. Well, making one part that long and one part that long and using the same pivot bases and things. It's very, very similar, but they are different parts. All right, this one I'm going to do standing by the car because why? Because I did all the close-up shots already. Moving on to the roof and the doors of the Pinto. Once again, we've got different components. The roof is taller than the Mustang II, and it has a drip molding welded into the roof line, something the Mustang II doesn't have, as we'll show you in a minute. The door itself has got a push-button grab handle, and it has a frame around the door glass. The sheet metal on the door is very simple. It's got a character line that runs right through the suppressor. Now we're going to talk about the roof and the doors on the Pinto. The roof is higher than the Mustang II's, and it has a drip rail welded onto the roof, a feature that the Mustang II lacks. The door on the Pinto has a grab handle with a push button, and it has a frame around the door glass. In addition, the sheet metal is very simple. It's got a character line that runs from the front to the back, but there's not any serious character lines or detailing to the door. All the glass on the car, the side glass, the back glass, and of course the windshield, is different between the Pinto and the Mustang II. Now I might reshoot the Mustang II stuff because some of this lighting is not spectacular, but that's okay. I could do that a little bit later.
Not that it matters, but if you wanted to maybe get some footage of us talking or some parked up in a different environment, I can drive to a different area and talk, whatever.
We could get some lunch somewhere and you can film us at the table. Absolutely. Oops. Need to make sure I got my head in that last shot. I don't know why the bugs like me so much. Ooh, I might have cut myself off here. Yes, I did.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm like right here.
Oh no.
Not a problem.
Well, actually, you know, if you repeat yourself, you might be able to add or take away from what you said earlier.
Well, I can also, like that shot where I just did the hood,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't see me, I can re-record that entire track. And I
Gotcha.
can do some of that here. I'm far enough away from the camera that matching the mouth won't be a super hard job. Okay, let's get this right this time. I think I checked that. Am I recording?
If you go over there, I can look at the screen and tell you how you look when you get over there.
There, now it's recording. All right. Yes, sir.
I don't think it's going to work because I see, just so I want to waste your time. You got that dotted line around the perimeter. It's cut
Yeah.
off at your nose.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half your head is missing.
I hear you. Because I knocked the frame up quite a bit.
I just want to make sure I'm seeing your thing right. I don't want you to waste your time.
Well, and I hate, like I said, these things are a pain in the ass. I probably inadvertently zoomed in. Okay.
Yeah.
Garbage, trash that. I'll just put that way up. Now it looks good.
Yeah. Yep.
Next, we're going to look at the roof. Next, we're going to look at the roof, the vehicle side glass, and the door, starting with the Pinto. The Pinto roof is a couple of inches taller than the Mustang 2 roof. It is. Now we're going to look at the roof, the side glass, and the doors, starting with the Pinto. The Pinto roof is a little bit taller than the Mustang 2's. It has a grip rail welded into the roof as part of the structure. And if you look at the door, it's got a grab handle with a push button and a frame around the door glass. These are all differences between this car and the Mustang 2. The door panel itself is a very simple sheet metal structure. It's got a character line running from the front to the back, but there's no highly stylized components or character components put into the sheet metal. Did I not get that recorded? For some reason, the camera dropped out on that last bit, and I didn't get any of it. Huh. Well, practice makes perfect.
That's right.
Now we're going to look at the roof, the side glass, and the doors of both. Now we're going to look at the roof, the side glass, and the doors of both vehicles, starting with the Pinto. The Pinto's roof is a little taller than the Mustang 2's, and it's got a grip rail welded into each side that runs over the side glass. The side glass on each car is unique, and looking at the Pinto, it's got a frame around the door glass. In addition, the door pull's got a grip on it with a push button, and the side of the door is relatively simple. It's got a character line that runs from the front to the back, but there's no highly stylized elements or character lines put into the Pinto grille. All right, we got it that time. We're scaring folks away. Maybe. Looking at the Mustang 2, we can see the lower roof. No drip rail. They've got this bright trim molding that's on all Mustang 2s, and it catches a little water, but it's not the pronounced drip rail that the I guess I need some glass to point out there's no frame in it. Save my battery till the plane goes away.
By the way, I have a pack and a cord in case you want to run power off my battery pack. I have a battery pack.
Oh, I've got 2 more batteries
Oh, you-
for
okay.
it, but I learned that lesson a while ago.
Yeah.
I probably should have charged up my DJI. I did it yesterday, and I used it a little bit, but I have never run out of power on a DJI microphone for whatever reason.
You have a drone, by the way?
Have a what?
You have a drone?
No. No.
There's something you might have.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to have, but it's so complex that I think for as much as I would use it, I just can't justify it. So, and it's another thing to bring along, another thing to keep charged. All right, for a week. Looking at the Mustang roof and doors, we can see the roof's a little lower, and there's a bright trim line along the glass with no drip rails. Looking at the Mustang 2, we can see the roof has no drip rail. We've got this bright trim that's on all Mustang 2s, all the way around the side glass, which, by the way, is unique glass and does not interchange with the Pinto. Looking at the door, we can see there's no frame around the door glass, and the door handle itself is a paddle style. It's not a grip and push button style. And the sheet metal on the door is significantly different. It's much more stylized with a cove running through the center of it. But the differences go beyond the outside skin. The actual front hinges to the door do not interchange with the Pinto. The Mustang 2 uses a hinge that's common to the Torino and the Granada. The Pinto has its own hinge that's a little bit lighter duty and won't work on the Mustang 2. Before I do the back, we'll turn the cards around so we got the sun on the back.
You want to turn around and sit down?
No, I'll do that later. There's no reason to keep moving them back and forth. We'll just do the final. We'll do the pickups with the car facing the other way. Now, when I started this video, I specifically said I was using a 1973 Pinto. And there's a reason for that. That was the Pinto Ford was producing when they engineered the Mustang 2. So if the Mustang 2 was just a glorified Pinto, you'd expect many of the parts on this 73 to transfer over to the Mustang 2. And that's not the case, which you'll see as we talk about the underside of the car. Now, There's more to this story than just that, and I'll get to that at the end of the video. But now let's talk about the drive lines, the engines and transmissions on these two cars. The 73 Pinto offered a pushrod 1.6 four-cylinder that was only available with a manual 4-speed transmission. It also offered a 2-liter European-built 4-speed that had both a 4-speed manual and a 3-speed automatic. Neither one of these engines were offered in the Mustang II. And the 4-speed that was used on these cars was only offered on the 4-cylinder Mustang II. That automatic I mentioned, the C3, was specifically a Pinto transmission, so I'll give you that. That Pinto part did come into the Mustang, but only on the 4-cylinder models. The Mustang II offered two engines, a 2.3 overhead cam 4 that had similar architecture to the Pinto 2-liter, but really didn't share any parts. The Pinto engine had mechanical lifters. The 2.3 in the Mustang II had hydraulic rocker arms. The pistons, the connecting rods, the cranks, the block, none of it interchanged. So that Mustang II 4-cylinder did not come from the Pinto. It was designed for the Mustang II. The other option for an engine in the Mustang II was a V6. It was a European-built unit that was also used in some of the Ford of Europe product. But behind it was either a C4 automatic or a Borg-Warner 4-speed, neither one of which were offered in the 1973 Pinto. So in terms of engines and transmissions, there's very little commonality between the Pinto and the Mustang II. There's very little commonality between the Pinto and the Mustang II. When you're looking at engines and drivetrains, when you're looking at engines and transmissions, there's very little commonality between the Pinto and the Mustang II. But let's talk about the cowl, the firewall, and the floor pan. There is some commonality there. Step back, right? Next, let's talk about the firewall and the floor pan of these two cars. There is some commonality there. In fact, the first really Pinto part I can mention here is the wiper motor. The wiper motor in the Pinto is used on the Mustang II, but the transmission linkage between the wiper arms and the motor is unique because the spacing between the base of the wipers is different between the Pinto and the Mustang II. So even there, on a fairly invisible part where you'd expect absolute commonality, there is slight differences between the Pinto and the Mustang II. Another component that's common to the two of them is the evaporator box, the HVAC box behind the dash mounted on the firewall. There is a commonality between those two parts, as is a commonality between the seats. The frames and the seat tracks on both cars are the same because the floor pan is the most common part between the two cars. But there are further differences. The Mustang II has a longer wheelbase. It has isolators on the rear axle that the 73 Pinto doesn't provide. And even though the fuel tanks are very similar, the Mustang II fuel tank holds 2 more gallons, so it is a larger tank and doesn't interchange directly from the 73 Pinto to the Mustang II. And I'm sure that was shiny as hell.
Are you going to do a voiceover in this too?
It's strictly a matter of how good the video comes out.
I was just curious.
If I'm standing in front of the camera, it's a little harder to do a voiceover. But you know what? I guess I don't even need, I'm just going to reshoot that standing behind the camera. Well, let me tell your camera what I'm going to do. I'm just going to reshoot that behind the camera, and then if I do need to modify the voiceover, they won't see me, and I'll just stick in new VO.
Right.
So, what did I do there? I don't want to do. I'll pick it up on the floor pan. So, next we're going to talk about the firewall and the floor pan on these two cars, and there's as much similarity there as there is on any part of these two vehicles. The wiper motors are the same. The Mustang II does use a Pinto wiper motor, but the wiper transmission is different because the space between the two wiper arms differs from car to car. So where you'd expect them just to take the Pinto part and put it in the Mustang II, they actually re-engineered and modified the part for the Mustang II. The heater box, the evaporator case under the dash mounted to the firewall, is pretty much common to both cars. You can switch them back and forth. And the seats, the seat frames, and the seat frames and adjusters are common because that portion of the floor pan carries over from car to car. But there are differences beyond that. The wheelbase is slightly different. The rear axle is mounted with a rubber isolator on the Mustang II, so it's unique and doesn't interchange with the 73 Pinto. And the fuel tank is 2 gallons larger on the Mustang II. So while they are very similar, the fuel tanks do not interchange from car to car. Now let's talk about front suspensions. Both cars have a very similar front suspension, but there are differences. In 73, the Pinto did not offer power steering. They had front disc. Now let's talk about front suspensions. They are very similar car to car, but there are differences. The 73 Pinto did not offer power steering as an option. And the front brakes on a standard car were drum. In contrast, you can get power steering on a Mustang II in 74, and it came standard with front discs. The spindles and the A-arms on both vehicles are unique. The 73 Ford spindle will not fit a 74 Mustang II. And finally, the mounting points for the suspension itself on the Mustang II were unique. There was a subframe placed under the body to help isolate suspension shock that the Pinto does not have. So once again, Ford spent time and engineering money to develop a suspension that gave a nicer, quieter ride in the Mustang II. It's a significant engineering difference. This will be an easy one. Now let's take a look at the interior of the car. Looking at the Pinto, the first thing you'll notice is the entire floor is covered with a rubber mat. It doesn't have individual rubber mats for each passenger, but there's no carpet in the car. It's all rubber from door sill to door sill. The steering wheel sort of looks like a hula hoop. It's very simple with a very small horn pad in the center. And the dashboard only has 2 gauges, a speedometer and a fuel gauge. The dash itself is got painted metal across the bottom, and it's a very simple shape. Looking at the door panels, once again, we have painted metal at the top and the bottom of the door. The door cards don't extend over the entire width and length of the interior door panel. There are some commonality in the hardware here, but this has got actually a deluxe interior package. The base Pinto did not have a door pull built into the interior of the door. In terms of the dash electronics, or in terms of the electrical parts on the dash, there's really only 2 parts that are common to both cars: the radio and the headlight switch. And those are what we were calling earlier common parts. They're on many different Fords. They're not unique to the Pinto. Oh, you put the brake cover on.
Yeah, you saw that, huh?
Brake handle cover on too.
Yeah, the original one broke. I found another with the junkyard too.
Yeah.